Are you a lover of indie games? If not, you should be. Indie games often steer away from the beaten path and focus on aspects that may not always fall in line with the more mainstream MMORPG titles. Indie developers aren't afraid to try something different, and because of that, we've put together a short list of 5 indie MMORPGs that you should be keeping an eye on in 2022. If you're a fan of sandbox group-based MMORPGs, then Embers Adrift is definitely an indie title you should check out. While Embers Adrift will have some PvP encounters, this medieval fantasy game is a team-focused PvE game, with challenges that are meant to bring players together to face insurmountable odds. Here, the lack of a minimap and quests that are meant to be high-stakes challenges are just some of the ways that Stormhaven Studios intends to create a more immersive feel. You won't find much in the way of hand-holding here, but Stormhaven hopes you'll find plenty of adventure. Embers Adrift has set themselves up to make great strides throughout 2022. They've increased their testing frequency, where players can now hop in and play the game not just on Wednesday evenings, but every weekend. If you're looking to jump into a new PvE-focused sandbox game, Embers Adrift has planned their release for some time in 2022. Fractured Online by Dynamite Studios is another medieval fantasy game, but in this one, players will be able to focus on competitive or cooperative play as they desire. With a fully interactable environment, action combat style gameplay, and a robust skill system that rewards players for learning and skill instead of simply levels and gear, Fractured Online is shaping up to be one exciting experience for fans of action RPG style games. Fractured has also signed a deal with Gamigo to publish the game, with a release date planned for late 2022. That doesn't mean that you have to wait to get into the game if you're really excited for release. 24/7 testing is set to begin in the first quarter of 2022, and those that really can't wait to jump in will be able to get alpha access through a purchase on their store. Whether you choose to join in on testing or wait for the full release, action RPG fans might want to put this one on their radar for this year. The Day Before by Fantastic not only looks great, but it just so happens to hit pretty close to home with what a lot of us have experienced in the past couple years. Well, not exactly. The Day Before is set in post-pandemic America, where players will have to fight off zombie-like enemies and other scavengers in this open-world survival MMO. The modern-day setting will grant players access to a variety of weapons, vehicles, and cityscapes that will be a nice change of pace from the sword and board fantasy games we so often see. There's still a lot left to know about The Day Before, but if the videos of gameplay are any indication, this could be a fantastic good time. If survival games are your thing, and you've been itching to get into a survival MMO, The Day Before is definitely one to keep your eye on, especially due to the fact that Fantastic expects the game to release in June of 2022. Get ready to survive in The Day Before later this year. It's a mad world out there, but the MMO Madworld Age of Darkness is one game that you shouldn't get angry at. The isometric dark fantasy title has a unique, stylized art direction and a frantic action RPG battle system, which are certainly reasons that should get you interested. Tack on the weapon-based class system and in-depth character development system, and you may find that the array of options may get you hooked. Another major reason to play? Madworld Age of Darkness is a platform-free game, and it runs in HTML5, which means that you can play it on any platform with a web browser. Madworld Age of Darkness intends to release in the summer of 2022, but it is currently headed into Alpha 5.0. You can sign up to participate in the Alpha on the official site, and those who subscribe to the Madworld forums are automatically applied for Alpha and any future testing phases. Madworld is definitely different, so if you're looking for something a little offbeat, Madworld is a good place to start. Zenith: The Last City is not just any indie MMORPG, it's a virtual reality indie MMORPG. Ramen VR has been working on Zenith for a long time, and the fruits of their labor will finally pay off on January 27th when the game launches. Glide through a vast open world, actually swing the weapons in your hands, or sling lightning bolts like a real mage. Zenith will let you craft, battle, and fly in a fully immersive world while you quest, level up, and earn epic loot. Virtual reality MMORPGs haven't exactly taken off quite yet, but Zenith makes it easy. You can play on your compatible Oculus, Steam VR, or PlayStation VR headsets, which makes Zenith accessible no matter what kind of VR hardware you own. If you've been waiting for some high adventure in a virtual reality world, you'll want to hop in to Zenith: The Last City in 2022. This shortlist is just a few of our picks out of the many interesting indie MMOs in development right now. What are your thoughts on our list? Do you have your own list of indie MMORPGs that you're following? Let us know in the comments. If you want the whole scoop on what your favorite indie MMORPGs are up to, or if you just want to stay in the know about indie MMOs, check out our Indie MMO Spotlight every Sunday on MMORPG.com.